Okay, so I don't know how long this video is going to be. I originally was going to read off of some notes that I took on my phone, but I feel like that wouldn't really do this topic justice. I feel like this is one of those things where I just need to come straight from the heart. So, I apologize in advance if I'm all over the place, but I'm gonna just come straight from the heart with this video, and hopefully this can help out a lot of people, because I definitely wish I had a video like this a few months ago. So yeah, I'm gonna just go ahead and get straight to it. So about a week ago, me and a friend were on FaceTime, and he started telling me about the situation that he was going through with this girl. And it reminded me a lot of the situation that I went through with, the girl that I've talked about on my channel quite a bit. He was clearly still kind of distraught over the situation, which is understandable, because when you deal with something like that, it's very, very difficult to recover from. But I was able to give him advice on the situation, and, advice on how to recover from the situation. And that was the point that I realized that it's time for me to make a video like this so that I can help out anyone else who wants to hear this advice, or anyone else who needs to hear this advice, who's going through this type of situation. Because it can be very, very hard to cope with your feelings and to let go of a situation that in your heart is not serving you, but you're just so scared to let go because it's the only thing that you want. Not having your feelings reciprocated and being held out at arm's length by the one person that you want to be with at the time is very emotionally damaging. It can really mess with your perception of yourself. It can make you feel like you're worthless. There were a lot of late nights where I would just sit there and wonder why I wasn't good enough, and why she didn't want me, and things like that. And it's not a fun place to be. It's not a fun place to be. And obviously now, looking back on it, I see that it wasn't her fault, it wasn't my fault. Obviously she could have handled the situation differently. I feel like if you're not going to reciprocate someone's energy, then you shouldn't really try to hold on to them at all. But at the same time, I could have handled things differently, because I knew in my heart that the situation was doing me more harm than good, and I chose to stay in the situation. I chose to try to make it into something that I wanted it to be, as opposed to what it was. And in reality, me and her were simply not ready for each other at the time. And that's okay, because I know now that the universe works in mysterious ways, and usually when things fail, it's to make room for something even better. And I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I have a date tomorrow, and the girl that I'm going on a date with is pretty much what I'm looking for in a girl. If you go and watch my What I Look For in a Girl video, that's her. You know what I'm saying? So things happen for a reason, and it's hard to see this when you're in the situation. It's very hard to see this when you're going through it and you're feeling the pain. And you shouldn't try to skip the grieving stage. That's something that I did. I tried to skip the grieving stage over and over again. Not only just with that one girl, but with every girl. And eventually it got to the point where I just couldn't hold it in anymore. And I started breaking down involuntarily. And that's not a fun it's not a fun experience, when you can't control your emotions anymore, and you start lashing out at people, and you don't want to be around people anymore. It's not fun, And so that's why I'm making this video, just to let you know that it will get better. I know that right now, as you're going through the situation, it's hard. It's hard to see past what's in front of you, and it's hard to see how this situation will serve you in the future, and how the situation might be preparing you for the future. But you have to trust the universe. You have to have patience and trust the universe. Trust that everything will happen for a reason. For example, in my situation, when I was with this girl, I felt understood. That was the first time that I had ever felt understood to that degree. A lot of the time when I was talking to her, I felt like I was talking to another one of myself. And that's where the whole twin flame thing came in, which I'll get into that later on in the video. But basically, I just felt like I was understood. And as humans, that's really all we ever want. We just want to be understood by people. And, when that didn't work out, I would tell myself that I'll never find anybody who understands me like that again. And that thought ate me alive. And I remember I started talking to this other girl who was, she was a great person and things were going well, but I just wasn't in the space mentally to handle dating at the time, because I still was holding on to this idea that no other girl could ever match up to that girl. And I didn't really give the girl that I was talking to a fair chance. I didn't give her a fair chance because I was still holding on to this idea that, this girl was basically it. She was like the peak. I was never going to find anybody like that, which is crazy to think about now because I'm 20. I'm 20 years old. I just turned 20. I was 19 when we were dating. And that was only the third girl I've ever talked to or dated. But fast forward a few months later, and I have 5,000 people who understand me to that same degree. 5,000 people that I can speak my truth to and be understood. And I honestly believe that it took me separating with that girl to get to the point that I'm at now, as far as YouTube goes. I traded in one person, the one person that I felt truly understood me, to now having 5,000 people who understand me in that same way. And obviously when I was going through the situation, I couldn't have seen this. I had no way of knowing that this would happen, that I would be where I am right now. And I had no way of knowing that I would meet the girl that I'm going on a date with tomorrow. And like I said, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but me and her probably have more in common than me and the other girl. And, I'm saying all of this to say that you have to trust the universe. The universe works in mysterious ways. You don't know what is in store for you. The only thing you can do is live your life. Live your life to the fullest. Don't put your self-perception in the hands of someone else. That was a mistake that I made. And that seemed like, the direction that my friend was going down. And it hurt me to hear him say that, because I know what that feels like. To feel like you're worthless. To feel like nobody wants you. I really, really would never wish that feeling on anyone. And that's why I'm making this video, because I can't live with myself knowing that I can help people out. I can help people feel better about themselves and, heal, and I don't do it. I just couldn't live with myself if I didn't do this. So I need you guys to understand that, you are worthy. You're worthy of happiness. You're worthy of love. Now, another thing that I want to mention is the whole twin flame ideal. I feel like I actually led a lot of people astray with this idea, and that's because I led myself astray first. I know from the outside looking in, the twin flame ideal looks like a coping mechanism, but for me, it was more of a way to explain the connection that we felt, just being understood by her. But like I said, now I realize that I have many twin flames. I have 5,000 twin flames, soulmates, whatever you want to call them. I feel like the twin flame ideal is a limiting belief system. It's a limiting belief system that basically tethers you to one person. Within the twin flame ideal, you'll never find anybody who understands you in that same way again. And I can't believe in that. I can't believe in that anymore. It doesn't serve me. And I feel like I need to let go of that idea to really truly move on and get on with my life and be happy. So I'm unconditioning my mind and letting go of that belief system and getting back to my core belief system, which is that the belief in your truth is the truth in your belief. As within, so without. And this is what I had to realize. I had to realize that things happened the way that they did because I was holding on to trauma. I was holding on to a lot of unhealed trauma from my past. And, this trauma kept resurfacing in every situation with every girl. And I kept wondering why nothing was working out for me. I kept wondering why I was having so much trouble with dating. And I realized it's because I had abandonment issues. I had trouble with unreciprocated feelings, and those things manifested back into my life in the form of her. So, I had to do the internal work. I had to take some time to evaluate everything that I had dealt with and change my perception of everything I dealt with and stop being the victim in those situations, realizing that there is no one to blame. Things happen the way that they did for a reason. is to set us up for something better. You know, the ego always wants to blame somebody. If it's not my fault, it's her fault. Truth be told, that's not the case. No one's to blame. No one is to blame in the situation. I had to learn to appreciate the way things happened while also learning to accept that it's over. You know, like, I had to let go. I can't keep trying to hold on to this dream of what I want to happen. I just have to let go and move on with my life and trust that the universe will have something better waiting for me at the end of this dark tunnel. You know, there will be light. Darkness can't exist without light. So you have to understand that what you're going through right now is going to make you a better person. It's going to set you up for an even better situation as long as you learn from the situation. You know, take the lesson from it, appreciate that things happen the way that they did because it's going to make you a better person, and let go and get on with your life and trust in the universe.